Are you stuck in a design dilemma? You need real answers for your particular project. Come on over and join the conversation with Dana and Mark. The renovation conversation. Now, let's get started.
This is your renovation conversation. Hi, I'm Dana King.
Buenos dias. Mi name is Marco Robinson.
Wait. Hang on here. All right, and we are here to make your home makeover make sense.
If it's your home,
your business,
or your doghouse,
I design,
and I make it happen.
All right, so today we are talking about engineering value into your home improvement project, which I think everyone would be interested in that, because who doesn't like value?
This is kind of a natural lead to the cost versus value report, and we may reference that again today, but wanted to kind of segment onto that a little bit. So we've got a few things we want to run through on how to engineer value into your project.
Right. And some key things to keep in mind, I think. Things that guide us all the time, which are, Mark, what do you think? What's top of mind for you?
Well, top of mind probably for me is helping people understand that hiring professionals doesn't cost more. I think that's probably the guiding principle I think we run into, I would say on almost every job that maybe not every job, but a lot of jobs that we run into.
Well, and a lot of people think I'm really expensive, that I'm going to add a lot of cost to the job. I'm a designer. So they think they can maybe do it without a designer.
Well, you bring a lot of baggage, but not always tons of cost.
I do. What am I bringing?
I'm just kidding.
In fact, what designers and the pros do is help you engineer value into your project. You know, things that if you do spend more, it's for a purpose and a reason, and it's something that's really going to solve a problem for you, right? And then sometimes you can do something that's really cool, that looks really good, that doesn't cost that much money. You know, we can be clever,
right?
Too.
Well, it's like calling up that brother-in-law of yours and saying, hey, who's the guy who gets a good deal on cars, right? It's a professional, somebody who knows, he has an inside link, he has an inside track, he knows the market, he knows what's out there, what's available. Mm-hmm. We're that brother-in-law with the good deals.
Right.
We know that we have better resources. We have better options. Many people may not even be familiar with certain products. You know, alternative flooring might be an example of something they're not familiar with. You know, you may not know the difference between quartz and granite countertops. So a professional brings that to the table.
They open up to new ideas. If you're just shopping the big boxes, you're going to see a limited amount of products. But we've got access to showrooms that show you a lot more.
Well, and we're professionals. We're design professionals, construction professionals. We also rely on our professional subcontractors, electricians, plumbers, HVAC people to help us understand things that we don't know about. There may be a new lighting system. There may be a different way of running plumbing that we weren't aware of, and things that can help us as well.
You get a clever team. And being clever means you can engineer a lot of value into a project. So that's key. That's number one, right? I think another thing that I see people doing is they tend to try to stretch a budget just too far and over several rooms or projects. And what happens is you end up making everything just kind of cheap or not doing anything completely well.
You end up engineering slop. That's what it is. You engineer slop, which we don't want. We want to engineer value. So we had this case recently, right, Dana, where we had a client who wanted some remodels done over 2 floors, multiple bathrooms, a kitchen, quite an extensive project. And when we came back with a proposal, it was more than they wanted to spend. And instead of dumbing down each project, what we did is we really elevated the level and we engineered value into 3 or 4 projects that really is going to make the most difference in their living space, and left some of the others that were, a little off to the side and maybe not as pertinent to the overall project. And they're going to get some really cool space out of it.
So what we started with was her wish list.
Right.
And her wish list added up to more than what they wanted to spend, and about $60,000 more than she wanted to spend.
Right.
So to engineer more value, we had to look at the priorities. One big thing was she wanted to open up the space between the kitchen and the family room. Everybody wants to do that, but there's a bathroom right there. So our original thought was, let's remove the bathroom. Seems easy enough, but really it got quite involved with plumbing and so forth and having to reroute plumbing, right?
Right.
So we decided, well, what would it look like if we kept the bathroom? And we showed her that if you just moved a 4-foot wall, she could open up both spaces quite dramatically and save $10,000 right there.
Yeah, and kept the bathroom and now has a space between them that opens up. She even made the comment after we did demo. She said, I never thought it would be like that. She's like, I just couldn't see it. And, through our experience, we had a little bit of foresight seeing, look, this is going to look really, really awesome. And so she stood back even at a demo stage of saying, wow, what a difference that made. And she kept a bathroom on her main level. So
and had she gone forward with her own idea and not consulted professionals and said, take that bathroom out to just a contractor, she would have spent money she didn't have to spend.
Right.
And so what ended up happening is we did that throughout her whole project. And then she ended up having some upgrades on some things, actually, like flooring. Places we were trying to go thinner before, suddenly we could spend more money and give her more value overall in the project. So that's a cool thing.
It's an awesome thing.
It's an awesome thing.
That's what it is.
It is so awesome. All right. What else did we do on that project that was particularly cool?
We did a lot of things. I think every little item we looked at, we considered, is there a different way? Is there a better way that we could do it? I mean, sometimes, it puts us in a situation where we have to be creative problem solvers, where we might have an automatic answer on, say, this is the best product. Mm-hmm. But now we have to think a little bit differently, say, all right, well, what can we do to accomplish the same thing at maybe a lower cost or a different approach? Windows was one where we went to a different vendor, got a great window. Doesn't always have to be the name brand, the big brand. Still can get some great products. That's one that came to my mind. I don't know what you were thinking, though.
Well, I'm thinking in her bathroom, we found a lot of opportunities to save. So starting with the shower glass, we did a glass panel there instead of a glass panel and a glass door.
Right.
Eliminating the door, which gives her a much more open feel in a very small bathroom, and very cool contemporary design, very fashion forward, and probably saved $1,000 right there. Then the shower surround. We looked at some cool tile we wanted to put in there, but we needed to cut, so we did a faux marble in there. However, faux marble has come a long way and has a lot of different patterns and colors and not your typical builder's grade. So just an upgraded faux marble panel saved us a couple $1,000 on the shower surround right there.
But I think this is a great point. In that same bathroom, I think this is where you could make the argument for value engineering and for using a professional, because what we did do is the cool tile that was going to go in the shower, what did we do with it? We moved it over and we put it as a strip of tile along the vanity.
The vanity, and we're doing a cool kind of vertical design, not your typical design.
Right.
But
she fell in love with that tile and she wanted it. And, we were going to do the shower in it. But when she got the bill for it, the estimate for it, she said, maybe not. But, we still found a great way to use this tile that she loved, and it's still going to be a cool space.
And the neat thing is the vanity is the first thing you see when you walk in. And so there it is, that tile that she really wants to see, and it's right at the vanity.
It's going to show off more. She'll actually see it more. It'll show off more. Yeah. It was at a significant reduction in cost to the original bid.
So ultimately, I'd say we have a better designed bathroom. It's certainly designed for value, but even the designs are really cool that we've come up with there, because the budget pushed us. The budget is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It pushes us as professionals and homeowners to think hard about how we use materials and can we find more clever, creative ways to use them.
This particular client didn't mention anything specific about moving in the near future, but, in the back of our minds, always both the client and ours is, what is this going to do for resale value? Taking a bathroom out on the first floor typically would be something we would say absolutely not. However, they have multiple other bathrooms in the home, so that wasn't necessarily a deal breaker. But you think about resale value, no one's ever going to walk into that house and look at that bathroom that we had to value engineer and say, oh, they really cut corners here. It's going to look like a stellar space. Mm-hmm. And same thing, they're going to have a bathroom on the main level now that wouldn't have otherwise been there.
Well, and they had considered redoing their other guest bath on that same first floor because they were going to lose the one bathroom in the original plan. And we came to decide that, that bathroom took lower priority, the other guest bathroom, because they still were able to keep their nice bathroom. So we didn't have to.
Right. It was kind of tucked in the back of the house and it didn't require the attention. There was that one and one other bathroom upstairs also that they wanted to do at the same time. And those were the things we said, here's things you should scale back on because they're not critical to your living space and your lifestyle. It's just the two of them in the home now. And let's really focus on the spaces that you use every day and the space you'll be entertaining in.
All right. So that's point number 2, is to do a few spaces right rather than trying to spread your budget everywhere.
And we'll even say that when we come in to do a consultation, we'll make that point. If we get a feel for your budget, and we've had a consultation recently where they wanted to do a kitchen remodel and an addition. And we said, choose one of them and do it right. Mm-hmm. Don't do both of them halfway because you're never going to be happy with either. And then you're not going to be happy with us. So let's do one space right. And then make plans for the space as we go along, do a master plan. And in a way, we did this with the other client, too, is the master plan is next time they want to invest in their house, they've got 2 other bathrooms they can bring to current, and they'll be in good shape.
And we want people happy with us. We don't want sad people.
We hate sad people.
Yeah.
We do.
Hate's a strong word.
We really hate it, though.
Well, okay, yeah, I guess so. So the third point we want to make is that when you go shopping, when you go looking for materials, we like to have our clients look at...
And by we, she means she, because I'm not going shopping with you.
You're not going shopping?
No.
Well, that's all right. So we look at high and low options. So it gives us some flexibility in the budget. If we're just looking at all high price things, we're not going to have much room to save and splurge as it is, because every project, it's choosing between where you save, where you splurge, right?
That is right.
Yeah. So you're not going shopping with me, but that's okay. I take clients shopping, and when we look at things, we look at high and low options so that we can keep our options open when it comes time to look at the budget and make our cuts, right?
Well, and I think one of the things that we know when we talk to clients is they'll show us pictures, right? They'll say, oh, I love the way this looks. I was on Houzz, I was on Pinterest, wherever they were, spending their evenings on the interweb, and they found some picture that they love. And they show us 10 different pictures. Eyebrows kind of go up, and we're saying, oh, well, we love that too. And then they're saying, oh, but we'd love to spend this budget. And we say, well, that's great. We can do something in that budget, but not anything like the pictures you've just showed us.
Well, see, that's you from Dana is pretty clever.
Well, we value engineer. Don't get me wrong. But when they're showing us,
piece.
That's right.
Yeah,
when they're showing us pictures of $100,000 kitchen and they're saying we've set aside $20,000, we're saying, well, we might want to set some more aside. But I guess
here's how we can adjust this to meet your need.
And that's when we go looking for value engineering things. So what we know is that you probably aren't going to love the bottom of the barrel, let's say granite, for example, or tile. So we know when you go to shopping, you might say, well, I just need a cheap granite. But when you go look at them, you don't mean it.
Right.
You're lying to yourself and you're lying to us. And that's a bad thing to do.
We just didn't know until we knew. It's a bad deal.
You didn't know to know.
Well, I didn't know to know. I didn't know.
Right. And that's why we take people through a development process. Before you're writing that check, you're on a discovery trip to see what it is you like. Could you live with the porcelain, or must you have natural stone? And there's a big difference in cost.
Do you like the stock granite, or do you like the granite that they don't even put a price on? It's one of those call for details type of granite, that you call and get sticker shock for.
Who do you call, Mark?
You call Dana and Mark. Renovation Conversation. 555-5555.
We have a number now.
Such an opportunist.
Dana, right, exactly. But Dana, if they did want to reach out to you all, what's the number there to the studio to have you guys help them out with this?
Well, to our office, right?
Yeah, it says design studio, so I thought it was like really
that's studio. I thought you were talking about this studio, like they'd be calling you, Jade. And then I would have to give you a cut of the deal, right?
Well, yeah,
If you want to go for direct pricing,
there you go. Right, skip over the
direct
producer.
to our design build studio
without the Jade markup.
However, if you mention you heard us on Renovation Conversation,
there you go.
You get the Jade markup,
and I get
a gift from Jade.
That's right. I'll get a gift card.
You're going to get some shrooms from Jade.
It's going to cost you 10% more.
There you go.
It's a family discount.
It's all hooks you up.
All right. So the number is 314-914-2840 if you would like Dana and Mark to help you with your project.
Visit us at renovationconversation.com. You'll see a lot of things there on the blog, on the website. We have advice. You have a link to the cost versus value and some photos as well.
That's right.
Photos of your work, right?
Photos of me.
And the kids?
Mainly just me.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just pictures of flexing in the mirror.
I thought I saw something on Instagram like that with you.
You did.
I did. I wasn't wrong. But you all do excellent work, and they'll be greatly pleased.
Well, and our project studio is nextprojectstudio.com because we specialize in your next project. Okay, so we've talked about 3 principles that we think guiding principles
in value engineering are
drum roll. Come on, Mark.
That was not a really great drum roll.
First, hire some pros. Second, decide on spaces that are most important to you to do. Don't try to do everything if you're on a limited budget. And third is when you're shopping, keep yourself open to some high and low options.
Great principles.
That's great.
Principles
what if I'm
to
a
live by.
middle kind of, I like it just right, like the Three Bears.
Just right, like the Three Bears.
Goldilocks? So what if you're a Goldilocks? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. This one is too high.
Well, we typically find that. We really do. In this high and low option, like
right?
she's saying, yeah, almost always. I mean,
There's a medium.
you'll probably
Sure.
go and fall in love with, I keep using granite as an example.
But is that
the most
one
expensive
that most
granite?
people love?
Well, I think
What is the
that's
number
easy to
one?
pick on.
What is the very number one, like, hottest one out there?
I think everyone has something different they fall in love with. We call it the driver of the space. So for some, it may be the granite. It helps drive our whole design and decisions around it. If you pick a particular, whatever you fall in love with, granite, then we may steer you away from a different tile that maybe you fell in love with before. And it helps make decisions all along the way. But I would say that granite's a big one people really get excited about. And cabinetry, they really have strong opinions about light and dark. You know, I want dark cabinets like granite, or they want whatever it is they want. They've seen it in pictures. They've got painted white cabinets. So I don't know, Dana, what else? We've designed around a light fixture before, colors in a light fixture where, someone said it has to follow this single pendant and the whole kitchen drove around that.
See?
So-
Yeah, we have our ways.
You do.
Look for what people light up over.
I want a jade countertop. Is that
Jade
possible?
for jade.
That would be awesome. It is possible.
Jade color
It
for
might
sure.
be very expensive,
Sure, of course.
but you deserve it.
Thank you.
And with all the royalties you're getting
That's right.
from our Jade specials, you can afford it.
Oh my gosh, I just love it. So awesome.
So maybe we should go through the list of things that make up a project and talk about how we might value engineer things like doors and windows and your plumbing and your countertops and so forth, right?
Yeah, I think we can touch on just basic principles of each of those things and maybe give some guiding light. For example, plumbing. A great thing to think about in plumbing is as you do your space, whether it's a kitchen or a bathroom, a wet bar, if you can leave the plumbing where it is, naturally you're saving money, right? Plumbers, they like to charge a lot of money and they deserve it, right?
Our plumber does.
No, it was
depends.
crickets. Chirp, chirp. But so that that's a principle. As you look at designing your space, if you're happy with where your kitchen sink is, great. On that same thing, value engineering, moving a dishwasher to one side or the other really is indifferent. Moving a fridge, typically, to the other side of the room, not a big deal because all it is an ice maker line. It's nothing like moving your stack and your whole drain line and putting a loop vent in an island and accommodating those sorts of things.
That surprises a lot of people, I think, that, I can move the refrigerator just about anywhere. That's right. And moving the dishwasher right or left, no big deal.
No big deal.
And even moving the sink a foot or two often is not
Typically
a big deal either.
Right.
But it's moving it maybe up to 5 feet or more, then it starts becoming a big deal, moving it into an island, that
exactly.
kind of thing. So
electrical, has some of the same guiding principles, especially for heavy electrical. You think about your major, appliances like a cooktop or an oven or whatever else you might have for a major appliance that's electric in your kitchen. The closer you can keep those to where they are now, the better. Keeps them from having to run heavy electrical. Things like putting new switches and receptacles in and lighting is not as involved as putting in some of the other bigger devices. And that's so dependent on plan. I mean, that's a general principle, but if you throw in 20 can lights, obviously, well, that's a different story.
Sure. Well, what about doors?
What about doors, Jade? What do you want to know?
Dana mentioned
you
doors.
need doors.
That's good.
You need doors.
You
Doors are
said,
good.
so how do you value engineer on the door business?
Depends what kind of door we're looking at, right? But let's say just interior doors.
Okay.
I don't know.
I got nothing. That's a bad one. Let's pick something else.
Pass. Maybe some of our listeners have some ideas.
Well, if you have your ideas, we want to hear about them.
How about cabinets? We could talk about cabinets.
Okay.
Oh, we want to hear about them.
We have
for sure.
ideas on doors. It's just that
Matter
there's
of fact,
such a variety.
nobody by no means mentioned doors when we when you call.
If anyone calls and asks about doors or emails or puts anything on the blog about doors, you'll get no response.
There's so many things to do with doors.
I got it.
Let's go back to lighting. Can we go back to lighting? Because that's so overlooked by people.
Yes.
Yes. Lighting. So that's the one place that I think a lot of people think to just cut out.
I agree.
And yet it's really the thing you should spend more money on. But within doing a really good lighting plan, meaning really good means you are lighting up your space to be really functional and also beautiful. You put all this beautiful new cabinets and countertops and features in your space. You've got to be able to see them. And we often say that even an ugly kitchen looks better if it's well lit.
Yeah, there's a lot of places you can make sacrifices or compromises or value engineering in your tile, in your cabinetry, in the backsplash, whatever, that will look awesome under great light. Where if you really chintz out on lighting and don't think about it, and try and go cheap on it, I agree. I think you really do yourself a disservice. We'd rather see you cut money somewhere else and invest a lot more money in lighting, and you'll be so much happier with the project in the end.
You are never disappointed. And we've had to talk clients into more lighting. I think that's the hardest conversation we have with people most of the time is convincing them they need more lighting.
Yeah, I don't know that's hard. I think that most people don't appreciate it until they have it. They don't know what they're missing until you show them in pictures and you say, if you start to point it out in their house pictures that they've identified, you say, why does this look so good? Because the lighting is right. It has 3 or multiple layers of lighting. It has the right tone. It fits and it matches the cabinetry. And instead of just having 1 or 2 random lights in a kitchen that you can't really work with or fluorescent under cabinet lights, you put in some appropriate lighting and it really makes a huge difference.
Well, I think they've lived without good lighting for so long that they can't imagine what it can do.
Yeah, they just don't know.
And I think the biggest surprise they have is under cabinet lights and how great that is and how much they missed it and they didn't even know they missed it.
Right. I think that's exactly right.
Isn't that like a song?
We could make one.
It's like...
You don't know what you missed until it's gone, but
I missed you before I knew you. What song was that?
There you go.
I don't know. We could sing all this. We're going to have to pick it up next time on our next show.
Call it a show.
Thanks so much for listening, folks. This is Mark and Dana signing out.
We welcome your questions. Let us know how we can help. Give us a call. Give us an email. Find us at renovationconversation.com.
We appreciate all the kind reviews we get, of course, from the podcast and all the 5-star ratings. Keep them coming.
We welcome your questions. Give us a call. Phone number is 314-276-1129. Or hang out with Mark and Dana on the blog at renovationconversation.com. Let's make sense of your makeover. Email Dana, check out our award-winning work, or get direct help with the project you have at nextprojectstudio.com. Renovation Conversation is another positive production of RareGem Productions. Thanks for listening.